Good afternoon, everybody. Afternoon. Now, if you do not know, I have a ebook out called "How to Win the War Against the Narcissist." Now, where did that book come from? When I've been married for a sum total of 22, 23 years, and in a second marriage, I realized that I was dealing with someone who had a narcissistic personality. Even on my job, I started to see these traits in other people. Now, God, through this process, gave me a strategic plan of how to deal with these type of people and their negative behavior. I want to encourage you today, if you have not, to go download my ebook, and I will provide you the link at the top. It's $7.99. It's also on Amazon. But I would prefer you to do my, but have you understand and get it, because this is very vital when you're dealing with toxic relationships, and you're in a toxic relationship, or you're in a toxic worship, or you at church with somebody toxic, or you see these traits in your children. It's easy to notice what's going on, and it's easy to deal with. Now I'm gonna start with chapter one, which, and it says, what's a narcissist? What's narcissism? It's narcissist is son of the God, son of a God, Greek mythology figure, son of a God, who fell in love with his own reflection in the water of springs. He fell in love with himself. And what you will learn is when you're dealing with a narcissistic person, not only is this spiritual, it's spiritual. You're dealing with a spirit. You're really be up underneath a demonic attack at times, it seems like, because these type of people are so unreasonable. I'm gonna go over the 12 signs that you know that you're dealing with a narcissistic person. This chapter one. And then tomorrow I'll go to the next chapter. A sense of superiority, sense of entitlement, superiority, and everything. And they control everything. Um, if they don't go where they would, they don't want to be a part of it. That's sign number one. Number two, um, exaggerate the need for attention and validation. A narcissistic person constantly needs attention, constantly need, that was a good job, good job, good job. Constantly need approval, and they never feel like what they're doing is enough. Now, that they make you feel like what you're doing is never enough. I don't care how much love you do, how much you do this, it's never enough for this person. They are in constant need of attention, even if it's negative attention. Oh my God. They got inflated egos. Number three is they lack responsibility, and they blame and deflect. This was number one for me. You can't take responsibility. I'm always been a stickler of, if I do something wrong, I'm going to be the first person to apologize. Even if I didn't do something wrong, I'm still 9 times out of 10 going to apologize to you, because I just believe that blessed are the peacemaker. They would inherit the kingdom of God, and I try to be at peace with everybody. So I will go apologize. But if you know somebody that's narcissist, you're in a relationship with them, or you work with them, they will not take responsibility for their wrongdoing. They're not going to do it. They will blame everybody else for everything that's going wrong, even if they do it. Like, you can go to them and pinpoint what you know they're doing wrong, and then they'll try to make it be about you. They hurt you. They'll try to make it be about you. You the reason why they hurt you. You caused this type of behavior because you did this or you did that. They're never going to take responsibility for their own actions. Period. I mean, period, period, period. Oh my goodness. And the reason why they cannot take responsibility is because they lack emotional ties with people. I can remember that a situation happened, and in the midst of it, I almost died. Okay, abusive situation. I almost died. Now you're gonna get. I'm telling the individual that, I could have died if this happened, this is, and then you bust out with, well, you could have died too by punching me. You could have got a stroke. No. Okay. Anyway, they lack boundaries. They lack boundaries. Number four, they lack boundaries. Nothing is off limits. I don't care if you go put up some do not enter tape. They're going to step over your boundaries. One of the things I learned in a marriage is that you have to set boundaries. I was reading this book about boundaries and the importance of boundaries. You got to have it. The children of Israel had to have walls to keep the enemy from coming in. Boundaries help you keep the enemy from coming in. A narcissistic person don't care nothing about that. They're gonna they they're gonna always be the enemy that step over the wall and keep the wall down. They're just not gonna get it. They lack empathy. They can do something to hurt you. They can see something going on. Somebody got killed, anything, but there's no empathy. There's no response of, wow, that's sad. They lack empathy. Have you ever met somebody like that? They just totally lack empathy. They're selfish. They're self-centered. So how can you be empathetic towards somebody if you're self-centered? Make it make sense, person. Number six, emotional reasoning. Mm-mm-mm. You probably made this mistake of trying to reason and use logic with the narcissist to get them to understand the painful effects that they have on you. Have you ever been trying to explain to somebody like this how their behavior made you feel? I mean, you going into great details. You explaining everything, and then my heart was hurt, my head was hurting, I was crying, I lost sleep, I did this and this and this and this and that. You even think that they understand, but at the end of the day, they stay you, and they're gonna do it again, and they're gonna feel okay about it because you made them do it. That's number six. Number seven, splitting. The narcissistic personality is split into good and bad parts. They always split everything in their relationship into good and bad. Any negative thoughts or behaviors blamed on others. They deny the negative words, the actions. They can't be able to, narcissists aren't able to clearly see, feel, or remember both positive and negative situations. They can deal with only one perspective at a time. If it's a friend has a different opinion to theirs, they distance themselves, belittle them. You're wrong. They ain't got time for that. And when then you gotta say, they just don't. They split it. Either it's good or bad. No way around it. Fear. Narcissistic entire life is motivated and divided by fear. Fear of losing, fear of being wrong, just fear. So they deflect this fear onto you. And by the end of it, you're the one thinking that you're crazy. For real. You be real life thinking something wrong with you. Like, and y'all like, am I retarded? Is it me or not? But it really is them. Anxiety. This is a sign that you know you're dealing with a narcissistic person if you're dealing with anxiety. Anxiety is an ongoing vague feeling. Some narcissists show their anxiety by talking constantly about doom that is about to happen. Not only do they have anxiety, but they will give you anxiety. Nothing never positive. Just negative. Ever met somebody like that? Negative Bessie. Shame. They deal with, they don't feel much guilt because they think they are right. And they don't believe that their behavior is really affecting anyone. You out here done did the worst of worst, and the whole family in turmoil, but you okay with it. Ain't you okay with it? They never are able to really evaluate a situation because they're the right one in the situation. The inability to be truly vulnerable. They can't be vulnerable because they lack empathy. They lack compassion. They lack love. They're not going to be able to show it to you. No matter how you do or what you do, they're not going to be able to do it. And instead of them dealing with issues and problems, they would rather, especially like in a relationship, they would rather leave that relationship and start a new relationship because it's too much for them to deal with the negativeness that they had caused. So you wondering why they keep cheating on me? Why we trying to go to counseling? We're trying to do this, we're trying to do that, we're trying to work on it, but you're never going to be able to work on it because they don't want to work on it. Number one, they're not going to admit that they did anything wrong. It's all your fault. So you got to move on. We got one more, and then I'm going to tell you how God gave me a strategic plan to deal with it. An inability to communicate or work as part of a team. They're not good communicators. They like to do things solo. They like to be the team captain, and they like to be in control of everything. They want whole control of everything. So let me sum it up. When I was dealing with the spirit, exiting out of the relationship, that control spirit was still trying to hover over me. So what I did was complete silence. Narcissistic people cannot stand when you do not respond to them. No response, no emails, no text message, no nothing. I'm going to pretend like you don't exist until Jesus come back. So if you have not downloaded my ebook, I implore you to download it today. And tomorrow we'll go over chapter 2. It's just really, really, really easy. What do you do if someone close to you is a narcissist? We'll just go over steps, things that you can do, especially if you're not in a leading relationship. The cold turkey, don't say nothing to me, may not work for you. But the cold turkey, don't say nothing to me. I'm gonna give you quiet while you spazzing out. That might work for you. But what helped me as I was exiting was, I'm gonna pretend like you don't exist. Okay? And I pray you guys have an awesome day. And don't forget to download my ebook. And if you need me, let me know. Bye.